Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. I'm going through the comment section, reading all your guys' comments. And one comment here is, I think investors from last few months like me are rewarding those who took a position through July, August. It's not easy to sit and do nothing. For recent investors who don't have the luxury of being in from much lower levels a year ago or so, I've sold out completely except for CVV, but probably should have sold them too, waiting for a buy signal to get back in now. So in my opinion, buying at certain levels doesn't necessarily mean that it's easier to sit and do nothing. Sitting and doing nothing is a form of discipline and a form of maturity when you invest. As you invest and you learn, my opinion, you're going to take a certain strategy or mindset. And as you stick to that strategy and you see that strategy work or not work, you're going to have to refine that strategy. My strategy over 18 years of refining has gone from shorter time frames to longer time frames. And it doesn't get easier if you buy lower or higher. I have stock that I purchased pretty low that I've overweighted. And some of these single positions are very large, and they're still in pretty volatile companies. As you develop as an investor, when you go from a new investor to more of a seasoned investor, you're going to have to be able to ride through volatility. You're going to have to be able to basically control your emotions. And you're going to see positions swing all over the place. And as you become more wealthy, as you become better at this game, you're going to see bigger and bigger total dollar amount swings. It could be the same percentage, but your dollar amount is going to swing massively. And it's not like, when you're a new investor, you put in, I'm just going to make up numbers here, all right? You put in $5,000 or 10 grand. You're down 10%. Well, 10% on 10 grand is $1,000. You're down $1,000. Man, that's so bad. I can tell you, I'm up and down 50 to 100,000 in a day. So how would it feel for you if you look and you're down 50 grand or 100 grand in your account? As you progress and as you get more money, you're going to have to develop your strategy. You're going to have to develop yourself. Your emotions are going to have to develop yourself as well. And I'll tell you this, if you don't develop, if you stick and cling to certain, I'll go into this. How about this? All right. I'm just trying to think of this so you guys can get it. If you're negative, if you have this negative outlook that the world's going to crash, everything's going to crash, in that realm, I don't think you're going to make money. You have to remain somewhat positive. You almost have to be like an internally optimistic person, like it's going to work, and you keep telling yourself it's going to work. If you keep telling yourself you're not going to make it, it's going to crash, it's going to do this, you're not going to invest in anything, you're not going to make any money. That mindset does not lend itself to being able to generate money and profits and hold them. It just doesn't, in my opinion. You're going to have kind of an optimistic outlook. You can't be pessimistic on and have a negative outlook on all these things. And another thing, I was reading through and I made some comment, or I posted the crisis in real estate continues with higher prices in October of 2021. And I was reading a whole bunch of the comments down here. And a lot of the comments, it's like, oh, just wait for the baby boomers to die off. Oh, well, when interest rates go up, it's going to kill the housing market. And I hear all of these things. It's all a narrative. It's all, guys, it almost makes me like sick to my stomach a little bit, because why is everyone so pessimistic? Why are they so negative? Like, where are you getting this outlook from? Every single bull market in real estate had increasing interest rates. So is increasing interest rates good or bad for the housing market? In my opinion, if I knew nothing about anything, I would say a rising interest rate environment is supportive of rising home prices. Until it's not, at the end. Until you have very high interest rates. And then people will say, Higher interest rates make homes less affordable. Exactly. So does a huge supply-demand imbalance. That's why home prices are going up. They're becoming less affordable. They have to. That's how the market balance each other out. Your inventory is super low. That's your proof. You can't fictitiously make up stories in the future, and then, even though they may be right, even though the data may be right, you still can't draw conclusions necessarily to that data. So let's say the baby boomers are going to pass away in the future, and there may or may not be less people. It's very hard to tell how the dynamics between people passing away and selling homes is in relationship to new people coming into home buying years. That dynamic may never be known, but we know that that interaction between each other is the inventory. Now, all you have to do is look at inventories over time, and those inventories have been drawn down over time. I'm not saying that the inventory can't go back and increase some. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that the inventory levels at the current level are extremely bullish for higher prices. And what I have to see is that trend has to reverse, and has to reverse for a long time for the inventory to grow. So whatever narrative that anybody wants to spill out there, they want to throw this narrative out, the proof is in the inventory. If the inventory declines, prices are going higher. If we're not building enough homes to satisfy the supply-demand balance, prices are going higher. Interest rates don't build homes. Make sense? Supply, demand, and the supply of homes being built by new home builders builds new homes to change the dynamics of the market. If not enough homes are being built, you're going to be stuck in this scenario where you have low inventory, home prices are going up, and rent prices are going up. And we have every single indicator signaling that the market's going to get stronger or remain strong. Doesn't mean that we're going to have something that gets a little weaker. It's still getting price increases. Prices aren't going down. We haven't seen that. And you're talking about the Titanic ship here. This thing doesn't move very quick. It doesn't just turn around and go back. So you got to adjust your time frames right, guys. You got to adjust those. If you don't have this right, it's going to impact the way that you view all of these investments. It impacts how you view the market conditions. And that is a huge driver of what allows me to invest and hold on to my stocks. In commodities, I look at market conditions, I look at ratios. If they're cheap and the market conditions are good, I'm going to continue to hold. And they are cheap and they are good. Do not project things that aren't seen in the market. I would not do that. If the market is tight, it is tight. Until it is not. Then you have to adjust your viewpoint until it is not. But it's tight and the market's going to go higher. So when people say, oh, just wait for this, that's not the right way to invest. You have to see the trend. If the trend's it's been the same trend for like 12 years, 10 or 12 years. So all of a sudden, this trend's just going to change because the baby boomers are going to start passing away. Well, I have to see it in the inventory. We have to see evidence of that claim. The market has to agree with you. If the market doesn't agree, I'm not going to agree. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be any famous person who's got lots of money. I'm not going to agree with them until I see the market change. So that's kind of how I look at things. I have to see it and believe it and recognize it. So that was one thing I wanted to touch on. Here's some agreed in construction, and the homes are rented or sold before we finish our retros. Agreed. Prices will keep going on, up, 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 up. The sale signs don't last long here in Canada either. Here today, gone tomorrow. And I agree. I think the housing market is very strong. Coming through here. Yeah, I guess I'll stop it there. I don't really see too much else to comment on. you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have more questions, please put it in the comment section below. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.